Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Talking About Birds, the only Cardinal podcast that, like last week's theme music, is disturbing and terrifying. My name is Nate Heininger, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Nate Moore.
Nate, you really dropped the ball last week.
If you have an idea for the opening bit, text or leave us a voicemail at 848-48-BIRD, or consider joining the Birdscord, where friend of the show, C70, contributed that one, of course, referencing last week's debacle.
How about the only podcast that, like Matt Holliday getting hit in the nuts in that playoff game that one time, drops the ball.
That's good.
Why'd you burn that's what these people do, right? I mean,
why'd you burn that on now? I could have used that for a future week.
I want to make you harvest your own bullshit.
Fair. I spend a fair amount of time harvesting bullshit for this show, so that's fair. So let's just address it out of the top. I honestly don't know what happened. It's quite confusing from an audio standpoint. My edit of the show did not sound like that. And when it published, it did sound like that. So I just in case everyone, I didn't end up getting a fresh episode pushed last week with it fixed. So everyone who listened last week heard it. But in case this is your first episode, man, it sounded frankly haunted.
I'm sure, probably we've talked about this. Every episode is probably somebody's first and last. I feel like it was probably a lot of first and last week with you doing what you did.
I think there's only one explanation, is that frankly the show, it's cursed. I think there's a ghost. There's a ghost in the episode. And based off of some of the outcomes from this last week of baseball, especially in relation to the very conversation we had on this show last week.
Yeah, I'm really not feeling good about that.
I think we're cursed. I think it's a ghost. So I want to welcome whoever this spirit is, whatever this spirit is that has joined us as a member of this show. They're out there right now, getting in there, fucking it up, I think. But it's about time. I think we needed a third permanent member of this show.
Okay.
So we're haunted now.
Aye. Whatever you say.
Where are you at on curses? Is that something you spend a fair amount of time thinking about?
No. But I believe in them. They're real. 100% They're real.
Zeus's Law anytime recently?
I would never do that. Although I do hate plate lickers.
Same. There are a couple good digs at I guess poor people in that movie. So plate liquor's good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think the inherent problem, I like the idea of Zeus's Law is great. It's like treat everybody like they're a god in disguise, and then you're just treating everybody great, right?
Sure.
But it's still like, it's not just treat poor people like you would treat anyone because they're people and they deserve it. It's because they might be a god, there's a punishment, an ultimate punishment that might come if you don't. I guess what else is religion other than that fear?
Dangerous line we're walking here, Ham.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear me talk about this. We can move on to something else.
I think we should talk a little bit about what religion is on this baseball podcast. Whatever religion you follow, I worry that their ghost has infected our podcast. Do you think this is a religious ghost that's infected our podcast, or is it some sort of? I think it's a grudge ghost.
Yeah, like the movie The Grudge?
Well, The Grudge is a depiction of a grudge ghost, but it is a genre of haunting, is a grudge ghost.
Yeah, I feel like based on this, you got a lot more info on this than me. So I'm going to default to whatever you're saying makes sense.
Well, I think we have we spent quite a bit of last week's episode, not unique to just our show. A lot of people have been talking about this, but last week we spent a fair bit of time talking about the lack of injuries on this team.
Yeah.
And they've really piled up in this last week. So I think this grudge ghost came around and infected our intro and outro music, and also placed a minimum of 3 members of the St. Louis Cardinals onto the injured list.
Equally as important to our about a minute of our show and the life and health and well-being of 3 of your St. Louis Cardinals.
I think so. Equal impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're actually, this is not totally uncommon on this show, but you're coming to us live from another part of the world. Where are you at right now?
Yes, I am coming to you from a lakeside house just outside of Traverse City, Michigan. Wow. I am, if you could see the view I'm looking at right now, Nate, I see a ice blue lake on a shore. There's a couple of duckies. Looks like they're getting some food.
This is riveting.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's that beach lifestyle that I live.
Yeah, truly incredible. How far are you? Where is that near Detroit at all? You're able to catch a Tigers game?
No, on the if you're looking at the palm or the hand that is Michigan, Detroit is like by the index finger, and I'm kind of by the pinky finger.
Oh, quite the opposite. You lived in Michigan for a little while. Have you been to the Motor City Kitties stadium?
When we lived in Michigan, yes, I went to at least 1 or 2 Kitties games. It was right around the time they built their new ballpark, and I was like amazed by it. It was great. And I think the Tigers were really bad at the time. Detroit was in a really bad spot at the time. This was like early 2000s, 2000, 2001 era.
Notably good era for Ben Samorka too.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that means, but
you know what it means.
I remember I was very into Sum 41 at the time.
That's what I'm talking about. Kept rolling into parties like your name was El Nino. Storming into parties, sorry, like your name is El Nino.
That's pretty good. I like when you rap.
Thank you. You were saying you remember something, some anecdote?
Oh, no. That's all I had. I remember owning that record while living in Michigan, having no friends, and seeing the Motor City Kitties.
Do you think much has changed since then for you?
I have new records.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. All right. Well, the curse is upon us. Thank you again to our new grudge ghost who occupies the show. We'll see what fun new developments that brings here in the evolution of the show. We've talked about converting the show to an entirely AI bot. So someday maybe this show will be 2 AI bots and a ghost. How fun would that be?
That's a good TV show right there.
Well, we talk about riding the wave every week, and the not like the waves you're looking at outside your window right now.
It's a big brown shit wave this week, Nathan.
A big brown shit wave. How you feeling? How you feeling about the third place, 66 and 67 St. Louis Cardinals?
Yeah, I think that I feel better about them than last night's game. Would probably have most people feeling if they were sitting in a microphone right now. Those kinds of games happen every year, and really, I feel like we haven't had it for the pitching staff that we have coming into the season. I would have thought we would have had more shellackings.
Yeah.
Now the fact that it came at mostly powered by Pete Alonso is obviously very disappointing.
Well, he's a big, strong guy.
He is a big, strong guy. But outside of that specific fact of the shellacking that happened last night, I'm okay. I still think, if you look at kind of what's happened to the Cardinals and to the NL over the past month or so. I think some teams have separated themselves, but the Cardinals are still a week and a half, 2 weeks of strong baseball out of a legitimate wild card spot. So like we still have something to watch, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And because of the injuries that have happened, we have some interesting things to talk about from a player and personnel standpoint. And yeah, I'm okay. I'm still turning on the baseball games. I'm on vacation. I'm still calling them up. You know, we're doing it.
Yeah. You know, the story of the team for the last week and a half or so has been basically exhaustion, right? Like, what was it? 20 games in 20 days, a day off, and then 11 games in 10 days. And so we were really starting to see that catch up with the young team, which is being talked about, but I think worth mentioning on the show too. Like, so much of this team is already starting to hit like career highs in games played or innings pitched or really any metric, since they are, of course, the youngest team in baseball.
Right.
So like this was inevitable as we approach the end of this season. There's 30 games left, which is kind of wild, 35 or so.
That part I don't like. I feel like this season has really flown by, and as it winds down, I always get a little sad.
It is. Yeah, I know. I was looking at that today. Just like, damn, it's from a show standpoint, it's like we got like 4 more weeks of games to talk about in the podcast until we just have to fucking vamp for 5 months until the next season starts.
Hey, we had no shortage of things to talk about last offseason. I think we might have a lot to talk about this offseason too.
I think we will too, but I don't want to get too much into what will end up being months of content, but there's not like a huge obvious laundry list of guys to trade this offseason like there was last. So it'll be, I think, a eventful offseason, but probably in a different way.
I think the switch will have been flipped, my friend. I think we'll be talking about acquisitions.
I sure hope so. Although that is optimism that there will be a full 2027 baseball season, which is a whole other piece of this.
And we'll talk about this ad nauseum over the offseason. But Passan said something the other day on ESPN where he made it. He kind of illustrated it in the way of like, I'm not going to be worried about it not happening until February. And I think I'm going to take that on too. I'm not going to over concern myself. There's going to be a lot of posturing. There's going to be a lot of media hits and maybe some more commercials, maybe some things during the playoffs about MLB not wanting to pay players and wanting a cap and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to really spend much emotional or mental effort on it until February. And then maybe I'll start freaking out then. But we'll talk about this about 15 times in between now and then.
Yeah. That is certainly a healthy approach. We'll see if we can actually maintain that. But I guess to go back to my point, like the season was kind of always going to get to this point with the team, even if they were competitive or not. I mean, they are competitive, but even if we were 10 games above 500, like these problems were going to start to occur. Even if it wasn't injuries, it was going to be like, how long can Kyle Leahy go? How many innings can McGreevy throw? Pallante's thrown a lot of innings in his career. You think he can, but still, like all these guys are young. And so the injuries does allow us a chance to bring up some fresh arms. But still kind of a bummer to see such a run of non-injuries.
Outside of the arms, this is the most games played for J.J. Weatherholt, Ivan Herrera, Jordan Walker, obviously Josh Baez, Church for Mean,
pretty much
Jimmy
everyone.
Crooks. Huh?
I mean, they're pretty much all rookies or near rookies, right?
Yeah.
So like playing for a full season is new to everyone.
Yeah. So across the board, it's like, and we've seen like some guys really succeed. Like we've seen Jordan Walker have a really nice month where he's bounced back and found himself again and dug himself again out of that crater. And some guys haven't responded as well. And it's kind of the nature of having a team full of 24-year-olds figuring out a big league schedule for the first time.
Yeah, I did want to say, we may have cursed the team, or rather, we acquired a curse and it extended to the team.
Right.
But also on last week's episode, when discussing Jordan Walker, I said he could also just hit 3 home runs in 3 games and be at 27 next week, and we'll have a totally different discussion. And that's exactly what happened. So he is now at 27, and the pursuit of 30 feels significantly different than it did last week.
Racked up 3 homers and a stolen base. He's 3 away from 30 homers and 2 away from 20 stolen bases. I think he's going to get there, Nady.
Yeah, fundamentally, what's a huge difference between 19 and 20 and 18 and 20 or whatnot? But I do wonder, I have to imagine, especially as the season winds down, if they're not in a playoff spot, he's going to be up there looking for a couple more stolen bases. Players like those round numbers, a 30-20 season just feels good.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you're obviously, just by saying a guy is a 20-20 guy or a 30-20 guy, you're just saying a lot about that player.
Yeah.
And when you look at the 66 WRC plus, the negative 1.3 F WARD that he put up last year, he is trying to squeeze out every bit of juice from the season that he can. And we love him for it, don't we, Nate?
Oh, we're loving it, don't we, folks?
Wow.
Especially later in the summer. So let's talk about, I think we should just go right into Josh Baez, though. I think obviously an exciting call up, arguably the greatest MLB debut of all time, at least from a position player standpoint. I know there are some pitchers who debuted with a no-hitter. That has happened in MLB history. But I don't know, 3 home runs and 3 at-bats still feels even more absurd than debuting as a no-hitter.
Well, it's obviously rarer, which makes, because a lot more position player, it's probably a lot more opportunity for position players to enter a big league game than there are pitchers, just because only one pitcher can start per game.
Yeah.
The difficulty, I'm not sure I feel comfortable arguing that, but the rarity is obviously
is certainly there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and we kind of buried it at the end of last episode because I forgot and you somehow failed to mention it, but let's put it more at the top of this episode. You were at Baez's debut game, which is what a crazy happenstance that you happened to be at that game in Chicago.
Yep.
And you're in Denver, so this is a game you had prepared for long before we knew it was going to be Josh Baez's debut. And so pretty wild. You happen to be at both as a Cardinal fan, but also just as an MLB historic game. The MLB requested one of the balls, and it's in. They're putting it in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. So just like you, that ball will be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's there was some chatter about me being in the Hall of Fame 2 times, but our seats weren't quite that good. We were pretty high up. But I will tell you, Nate, I've been to a lot of baseball games. Right. From an energy standpoint, from an excitement standpoint, from the hype that was coming up around Josh Baez, this guy we've been thinking about for the past 2 years, to be in Chicago, to be surrounded by Cubbies fans, a sold-out crowd, first pitch. I mean, some of the best energy, some of the most fun I've ever had at a ballpark, period. What was also, and I don't think I mentioned this last week, but it was a chaotic game. The air and water show was also happening in Chicago that same weekend. So there would be times when an F-13 would buzz the stadium and you'd get, the loudest noise you've ever heard. And everybody's freaking out on that. Josh Baez is doing his thing. I'm with a group of guys. It was 11 of us for a bachelor party. And, half those guys care about baseball. Sure. I'm the sicko of the group, as you can probably imagine.
Can you guys get you the MLB breaking moment?
Well, so half the guys don't care about baseball. And those guys, the whole crew is standing up, screaming. Everybody's doing, is this has this ever happened before? Once he hit the second one, everybody was into it. And just a brief story about the second home run. It was in between innings. I was like, I'm going to go run and use the restroom, grab a dog and a beer and come back. And it all just took a little bit longer than I thought. I saw on TV, one of the stadium TVs, that Joshua Baez was up to bat. And I thought, I just got to go watch this because what if he does it? So I got out of line. I ran over to the standing room area, and it was maybe 1 or 2 pitches after I walked up from being in the beer line that he hit that second home run. So I'm just standing in the standing room only place, surrounded by Cubs fans. It was great.
That's crazy.
It was, like I said, one of the best games ever been to. From an energy standpoint, I go to Rockies games all the time. There's no energy.
Everyone there is high as hell, not watching the game. They're just all picking hot dog crumbs out of their giant beards most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was a blast.
I'm sure this would happen in any stadium, but I thought it was a lot of fun that on Baez's 4th at bat, like the entire crowd is on their feet. Cubs fans, Cardinal fans, and like everybody. He gets a full I think he hit like a hard line drive to left field too. It never really looked like a homer, but still a hard hit ball, and everyone goes crazy, and he gets a huge standing ovation from everyone, Cubs fans included, which is always fun when just like a group recognizes the moment, I love that. I think that can happen in most sports, but baseball typically does a good job of that. A lot of fun. I had me and the fam were at the park that day, and I was like, I really want to make sure we get home by time of the start of the game. Josh Baez is debuting. Like, I just really want to see this game, and we did, and it was like, I was just running around the house screaming, basically, like, he did it again,
it was pretty magical. I've been lucky enough. I've done a Wrigley Cards Cubs game the past 2 years in a row. And last year it was the only game of the 3-game series that the Cardinals won. Obviously we had good luck this game. I think I got to keep this going.
If I remember correctly, I think Pozo hit like a total tank at
He hit
game.
One out of the park.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Well, next year, if you don't have it associated with any other plan, we could do it, and I'll drive up there and meet you there. That'd be fun.
Let's do it.
Or I'll take the choo-choo.
Ooh, okay.
So, all right. So, obviously, we're rehashing something that we're probably going to talk about for the rest of our lives, frankly. But let's talk about Josh Baez over the last 2 weeks of play.
Yeah.
I would call it basically the full Josh Baez experience. We're getting the hard hit balls. He's gotten another dinger. He's stealing some bases, and he's striking out at an incredible clip. So you've got some stats for us. What do you want to? How do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think really I just wanted to I'm kind of happy with what I'm seeing so far. Like, I have no major complaints or anything like that. And I think what's really stood out to me is that he's been in the league for
he's been in the league
for 2 weeks. And I think that my kind of judgment is that he's a little jumpy right now, and he is I don't think he's settled in or super comfortable just yet. But if you look under the hood, all the metrics are great. He immediately become one of the fastest swingers in Major League Baseball, which is probably not surprising if you've watched him a single at-bat by his, but he has one of the fastest swings in baseball. The launch angle is legit. He's getting the ball in the air more often than not. The exit velos are following the swing that you would expect, and I think he's getting a little bit unlucky. He is hitting the ever-loving shit out of the ball right now. And for 2 weeks in, to have an expected WOBA of 325 when you really don't look comfortable quite yet, and you're having those swing metrics, and I think you're looking pretty good in the outfield. You said he's stealing bases. I do think the strikeouts are going to come down. I think that he's going to get comfortable. The kid is as confident as anyone I've ever seen make a major league debut, for obvious reasons, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with everything I've seen. I really like him. Like, the shape that he gives the lineup, right-handed power is as valuable as anything in baseball right now. I think that Josh Baez is going to be the type of guy that may or may not make 2 or 3 all-star games. Probably not be a great player, but a very good player. And I think somebody that we're going to watch in the starting lineup for a while. And I've been impressed with his debut so far.
I think so too. I said, kind of to someone the other day, like, it's interesting. I think we'll probably see 1,000+ more games from Josh Baez, and he probably has already had the best game of his career. But that's not to dismiss him, because what a game that was. But you already hit the numbers. I will just say that you're not wrong that he's gotten a little unlucky. He's actually been quite unlucky. His BABIP, of course, small sample size, is 0.095.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's too fast and hits the ball too hard for that to ever be. Well, that number's not real for anybody, no matter what their swing metrics look like.
It's like a comical, comical low number. And part of that is that he basically, so far in his career, he's like kind of either hit the ball out or struck out, but still very low BABIP. If even a couple of his hard hit balls fell for hits instead of being caught, then his entire stat line would look different, because it's such a small sample size.
He has played 11 games. He has 14 hard hit balls.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And, it's a 35% strikeout rate, which is too high. Not sustainable at the MLB level, but for 11 games, could be worse.
Absolutely. He could not have a walk. How many guys do we see do this type of thing and not yet have a walk or get on base by a way other than the hit? So I really, obviously we're going to give him a long leash here.
Yeah.
But keep starting him every day. I think he's only going to get better. I'm very excited about this.
I think it's interesting. His MLB debut, he basically accrued like 0.3 or 0.4 WAR in that one game, and he's back to a 0 for his career at MLB level. So just interesting how that sort of thing can fluctuate on such a small sample size.
Should have just retired after day one, just left it there.
I mean, if he did, you could have argued it was the best MLB career, like the best career stat line
from a rate base. Yeah.
Just a pure stat line.
Right.
4 for 5 or 3 for 4, 3 home run, whatever it was.
Nailed it.
So I won't belabor the point. I am very excited about Josh Baez. I think it's been a fantastic debut, and I think kind of like there's nowhere to go up, but up from right here is kind of how I'm feeling, which is crazy because he's doing pretty well already. Let's get into some of the injuries. We already talked about the curse and the grudge ghost that is upon us. I guess, should we just run down them real quick? Masyn Winn, Everson Pereira, Hunter Dobbins, and Andre Pallante, all on the IL, all in the last week.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's tough. Let's start with Winn. Fractured thumb. Not great. He hasn't been hitting the ball very well this season overall, but still, like, it kind of feels like last year. It was like right at the end of the season, he starts, it's like, well, I guess we don't have Winn anymore. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, we all saw the slide. It makes sense that it happened. He has the best sliding glove in all of MLB. So the fact that he was fallen to that injury is pretty annoying and sucks for him. But I don't want to say this is a lost year for Masyn, but it's been a weird one. We've talked about it. Like, obviously, he is one of the best defensive shortstops in baseball. That's great. I think you and I both feel pretty steadfast that he is going to figure out how to be a productive, an above average major league hitter at some point. I really thought we were starting to see it. He goes down with the injury. That's very disappointing. He'll probably maybe play another game this season. Maybe not. I don't know how fast that's going to heal. But I'm kind of already looking to next year for Masyn, which is disappointing. And the problem is, like, I guess it'll be fun to see, what JJ looks like at short for the next month. But we know that's not his long-term spot. We know that Mason's going to take that over. It's opening up at bats for the likes of Nolan Gorman and Ramón Urías, which is like, okay, that's not really exciting either. We don't have there's no Leo Bernal at short that I'm like, thank God, all right, we get some ABs to give to this kid and let him run with it. So it's kind of just a bummer. It's like, oh, I just don't get to watch one of my favorite players for the last month of baseball.
Yeah, pretty much. And it does, like, we don't need to relitigate it, but like when you look at Masyn Winn, his last 3 years, so in 2024, a 103 WRC plus, 2025, a 91, and then now 2026, assuming it is done, 82. So it's like 3 years of decreasing offensive capability at MLB level. Not the trajectory any of us thought that he would take. He came up quite young, and we've likened him to maybe a Yachty growth pattern, defensive first and slow growth. He's still quite young, but it's a concerning trend at this point. And it does make you wonder, as he ages through his rookie contract, I really do wonder how the Bloomin' Goons are evaluating him as a long-term piece of this team. To be clear, 2.3 F4 this season. It was on pace for another 3 or so. So like a well above league average player. We all know the value of him. So I'm not saying that, or not discounting that. But it does make you wonder, if JJ plays a very good short and hits like he hits, do you start to consider like, oh, do we find someone else to play second base, and make a different decision with Winn that none of us ever would have anticipated being made?
Yeah, I think that you're always open to improving the roster in whatever way. I still feel like there is developmental juice there for him to start hitting. I feel extremely confident about his defensive abilities, and he's one of, he's a top 5 shortstop in baseball. So if he hits just a little bit, there's
just a little bit.
And the Cardinals, I like being defense first up the middle, and you get all the offense you can from JJ. I would rather the Cardinals fix the third base problem going forward. And the good news is, how we've been talking about Jesus Baez for a while now. Maybe he's your third baseman. Maybe Danielle Ortiz is the third baseman. Maybe it's Mr. or Mrs. Outside Hire taking that position. Maybe Jack Gurovich learns to be a good third. Who knows what's going to happen? But I would prefer, even if the WRC plus is around 90 to 100, to stick with Masyn. And maybe I'm emotionally invested and not being as.
No, I agree, especially if we have an offense that is front loaded with your Jordan Walkers and Ivans and Alec Burlesons and stuff like that. Like if your 8th place hitter is one of the best shortstops in baseball and can manage a 90 WRC plus, like who isn't taking that? And I think Winn is a root cause of the pitching being surprisingly good this year. So like, don't get me wrong on any of that. It's just the continued trend of it going down. Like, what's this conversation look like if Winn comes back and he's now and this trend continues and he's got a 65 WRC plus, like it really starts to put pressure on him in the lineup. But if he can go to 80, like 90, 95, I mean, we saw it, that was last year and he was 3.6 F4, so very valuable MLB player. So doesn't take much. That's the whole thing with elite shortstop defense. You don't have to be a baller offensively, but you got to do something,
Yeah.
So,
and you think like, you mentioned this at the top, like even with the numbers he's put up, it's almost a 2.5 WAR season. which puts him right. He is right around Kevin McGonigal. I mean, this is crazy. He's right around Gunnar Henderson. As far as production from this year, it's not like he's not the reason the Cardinals are losing games.
No, I bring this mostly up again about the trend, right? Not the exact moment.
And I guess one other thing. Obviously, we were injured last year, so but it's always easy to make these kind of excuses, and we'll see how long that trend line keeps going down.
Yep. All right, so you already mentioned it. Let's talk about the offensive call-ups. But Gorman is back. We talked about him a couple weeks ago, and he certainly was mashing again at AAA. So we'll see. I'm not ready. I'm just not ready to have my heart broken and get Hambone. I've moved on. My Gormania has been treated, not in the way I was hoping, but it's been treated. And it's going to take a lot for it to flare back up again.
Yeah, he had 3 strikeouts in his return to the big league club. He was holding it down at DH, which, it's really hard to get excited about this. For what it's worth, over the past 2.5 weeks, he put up a 127 WRC plus down there at the farm. He doinked some dongs. We talked about it. He's standing up a little more straight. But
stand up straight.
He's still shake my hand. He's still walking, or still not walking enough. He's still striking out too much.
Hopefully he's making firm eye contact at the very least.
Yeah.
Ramón Urías is back. Honestly, I had kind of forgotten about him. It's like, oh yeah, this guy. So he's back.
Yeah, he's back. Should be a role player.
Yeah.
If I was, if I'm in charge of anything, there's not a chance in hell that Ramón, I can't even say his name anymore. I've forgotten how to interact with him. Ramón Urías, if he takes a single start away from Nolan Gorman or Blaze Jordan, then we're making a mistake. That doesn't make any sense to me. Unless you really need Blaze to have a day off his feet.
Sure.
I don't get it. So
you don't want
defensive replacement,
negative 0.4 F4 over 27 games in MLB this year. You don't want that in your lineup?
I get at the beginning of the season, I understand Ramón Urías.
Sure.
But for him to be starting over anybody is a little silly. I would rather go throw Brian Torres over at third base. Give him an AB. Let him get some time going over Urías. He's not going to be with the team next year. We didn't trade him at the deadline. He's been hurt all season. Like, DFA him, really?
Yeah.
We'll see how long he actually remains on the team. Wouldn't surprise me if he gets scooting sooner than later.
Yeah. Gets the stinky boot. All right, let's move over to the pitching side of things. So, combo breaker.
Yeah.
Andre Pallante placed on the 15-day IL, elbow soreness. Never good.
Nope.
Not a good one to hear. And Hunter Dobbins on the 15-day IL. We get Quinn Matthews back. Exciting. And, oh boy, we're all excited. Ryan Fernandez called back up too.
Yeah. He's back, Nate.
He's back. Surely it'll work this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've been complaining about it for a while now, but the bullpen is uninspired.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't have much to say about Fernandez or Strzelecki or Ferguson or really any of these guys. But it's nice to have Quinn back. You would imagine that Quinn will be in the starting rotation for the remainder of the year.
Yeah.
I think that that's good news. I think that you're talking about development at the big leagues, and this is what he should be doing. So really no notes there whatsoever. Hopefully
he got torched a little bit in his last start.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of BABIP luck. Little bit of lack of execution.
Yeah. But I think what is maybe the more interesting thing to talk about around this is that we are all of a sudden without a starter on the schedule for the game that's going to happen tonight, the night this episode comes out. So you all might have the answer to this, but we're going to spend at least a few minutes speculating wildly.
They will almost certainly have the answer by time they are listening to this episode, unless they're a subscriber of the Patreon. But even still, this will probably come up before that.
I'm gonna reload the app before we start talking about this, so we don't look like total jackasses. Okay, right now, still unannounced.
No, hold on. I see it as Michael McGreevy tonight. It's tomorrow.
That's what I'm saying. Thursday night.
Oh, okay.
Today's Wednesday, Nathan.
I thought you were saying you said tonight's game. Oh, but because the episode releases, I see. Okay, I'm following it. Get away from
235. Nate just figures it out.
Get away from
bitch.
me, grudge ghost. Get behind me, Satan. I know what Ben's saying. Okay,
so stupid. Oh, that sparked a lot of joy, though.
You're the one.
All right,
you're the stupid one.
Okay, so let's refocus for a second, Nate. I think we got two options here.
Okay.
All right, Cooper Hjerpe,
yeah,
who is healthy. He has been pitching for AAA pretty well. He is also on the 40-man.
Yes.
I think that would make a lot of sense. Durandalo Senja, also at AAA, also pitching well, even better, actually, than your boy Cooper. Not on the 40-man right now. We do have one spot available, so you could call up, you could add Mr. Senja to the 40-man without having to knock anyone off. I'm curious if you have any strong opinions about which direction the Cardinals should go as far as who should fill this this spot, or at least this single start. Could be several starts. We don't really know right now.
If we're assuming those are the two options, I think there's still the some random journeyman from AAA comes up for a spot start, like your boy Bruce Zimmerman, who finally got his shot and then was DFA'd the next day. That sort of thing. But if we're going down to those two, if I were a betting man, I would imagine be Cooper Hjerpe. For the reasons you already outlined, he is on the 40-man. It would be the least the most in line with how they typically have handled things like this. That said, one of the things that we've talked about with Kyle is, as he has lamented the Cardinals, and I don't want to speak for him specifically on Senja, but he has spoken about one of the things the Cardinals failed to do last year and years before is capitalize on some of these guys that are pitching really well at the minors and give them shots when they're really locked in rather than really taking their time. Yeah. And so if we wanted to see a change and a bit of a new direction for how the Cardinals handle pitcher development, I think it would be really fun and very exciting to see Senja. But I imagine they will want to see longer, more sustained success at AAA before giving him the start.
To make my quick argument, and again, this is probably solved by the time you're listening to this, so I apologize. But at least to get my thoughts out there. Hjerpe has been limited pitch count wise over the past handful of starts. He's going 3 1/3, 3 2/3, 4, 4, 3, 4 1/3. Facing somewhere in and around 12 to 16 batters per start. I think the Cardinals, the situation they're in, they're going to want a little more length. And now, can you expect a ton of length from a rookie starting pitcher in their first in their debut? Probably not. But I think when you look at Senja, he's averaging 20 to 25 batters faced. He's got the strikeout numbers. I think he might even have a noticeably higher ceiling than Cooper Hjerpe. I wouldn't be necessarily mad about either direction, but I'd like to see Senja. You got that open spot. He's been pitching well. He's exciting. Maybe we see him drop down lefty.
That'd be fun.
We got something to talk about next week, but I that's the direction I would like them to go. I wouldn't be mad if Hjerpe joins the big league club in some capacity, though. Maybe maybe you piggyback those guys.
It would certainly be fun to see the last month of the season have both Quinn Matthews and Sinja in the rotation battling for a spot in 2027.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we'll see. Again, you probably already know the answer, listener person.
Mm-hmm. Hi, listener person. My name's Nate.
We did that at the top of the show, buddy.
Oh, right. Okay. I get mixed up sometimes.
Yeah, clearly.
I get mixed up sometimes. All right. What do you want to talk about next? Where do we go? Where do we go from here?
Let's do a little bit of vinegar and then end with some honey.
Okay.
I don't know. Is there anything you want to say about that Riley O'Brien blow up against the Phillies? He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 6 earned runs.
Brutal.
Really,
Dagger.
Yeah. His worst appearance as a Cardinal. Obviously in a save situation. He just lost the game for us.
I've been on the O'Brien train. I've been kind of the guy this whole time. Don't trade him. Keep him around. We need him a guy like him on the team, etc. Look at his stuff. He's the best reliever on the team, etc., etc. And one big massive blow up doesn't take that away. But there's certainly more of a trend over the last couple of months. This sort of unreliability that we've seen. That coupled with, and I know he also blew a game, but it was a longer outing than normal and it was extra innings. But Luis Gastelum, man, now that guy's starting to look like what you think of when you think of like your traditional closer, right? With that true swing and miss stuff. He's got the big hair. He's got the big slider. Like, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but there's part of me that's like, Gastelum is the closer of the future for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah. The changeup is legit. I think the changeup might be. Ooh, do I feel this? The changeup might be the best individual pitch in the bullpen right now. I think I might feel that way.
It's small sample size, but we saw some fools this last week on that changeup.
Yeah, he does be making people look like a fool, which is nice.
I mean, O'Brien's got a 100-mile-per-hour sinker, so like, let's not discount that. That is
sinker,
also,
it just doesn't strike. He doesn't strike out as many people as you'd want with that stuff, and I think that's where it really comes down with Rob is you don't know exactly what you're going to get, and you would think when you have that sinker sweeper combo that you'd be racking up Ks, and it's not like he doesn't, but when it's bad, it can be really bad.
Yeah.
And then obviously the opposite is true as well. When it's good, it's great. But I don't hate the Gastelum pick. I will say I hate the hair beard combo. It's too much of both.
It is thick though. Those are luscious locks he's got going.
It is nice to see a man who actually takes care of his hair as opposed to watching Ryan Stanek out there. So I'll give him that.
I think it looks great.
Yeah.
He's made a choice, and I can appreciate that.
Agreed.
Okay.
All right. Last note I wanted to talk about in regards to pitching, and I know I'm just going to keep bringing this kind of thing up until the season's over or it stops. But since July 1st, Kyle Leahy is tied with Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Sandy Alcántara in F4. For the last 2 months, he is tied with those two all-star, superstar pitchers. I got nothing else, analysis behind that other than just to say it out loud.
I know. We must recognize it.
I believe it, Nate. It's
wild.
I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what I've ever said. I don't care what the numbers say. I don't care what my brain tells me. I'm just listening to my heart on this one now. I feel
and that's
free.
Never led us astray before.
I feel lighter, just thinking
he's hovering.
Kyle Leahy is good.
Ben actually just carried his whole rig outside. He's walking across the lake. He's walking on water. This surely won't anger any grudge ghosts.
No. Or religious folks. That might be,
You got hate in your heart. You got to let it out.
I don't think that means what you think it means.
You got to let it out. All right. Let's quickly go down on the farm.
Wow. Are you putting in a little hit there, or are you just saying it like that?
Down on the farm.
We get that clean? Okay. Couple of city boys.
I know what that animal sounds like.
Zebra.
Yeah, it's a zebra.
It's been a weekly occurrence when we've been talking about Rainiel Rodriguez.
The only animal you know is Chester Cheeto. How about that?
He's cool.
He is cool.
He's
cool
suave.
He is
Mr. Stereo Girl.
All right, tell me more about Rainiel Rodriguez. I haven't heard enough.
Again, not a lot of analysis that I'm going to provide on this, other than since we've last chatted, he hit 5 homers. He's currently got 2. He's got back-to-back games with 2 homers. That might change tonight. Who knows what's going to happen? But the kid is absolutely on fire. I mean, we've talked about the idea of him being one of the best prospects in baseball. That might happen. We might already be there. I'm kind of now just like, when are we going to bring him to AAA? What is this guy's timeline? I know he's on a heater, and it's easy to love any player while they're on a heater. But the kid just keeps getting better and he's facing stiffer competition.
Yeah, it's definitely a heater, but it's been going for, is it a heater or just how he plays? You know what I mean? Like, it's starting to surpass small sample size, and again, competition to age, which we've talked a lot about on this show. Like, any extreme performance, even a heater, a week or two of doing something like this is a indicator of long-term success. So the fact that he's been doing it for this long is like, we're probably about to see the next 19-year-old in AAA sort of thing. Yeah. And maybe the next 20-year-old MLB debut.
The only other thing I think we were talking about this in the Birdscord, nicknaming this guy. We did learn from Ryan Ludwig on one of the radio shows that his teammates are calling him the Hulk.
We don't like him when he's angry.
I think it's pretty good. I like the Hulk. I also like that the Hulk is 5'10".
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing too. Not like, how many people, as a fellow 5'10"er, I don't think there's many of us who've been called the Hulk before.
Yeah. Real quick anecdote from Chicago. I met a Lyft driver who wanted to talk about conspiracy theories in the car.
Right. Oh, we love that.
He told me that the conspiracy theory that he believes the most is not in flat Earth, but in fat Earth. He believes, I presume he's still with us, that the Earth is much wider than they're letting us know.
I love that. Because what is that? What are we doing with that? They think it's only 3,000 miles across the United States. It's actually 6.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a good one. I personally believe in the hot pocket Earth, right? It solves everything. It's rounded on the top and flat on the bottom and has a molten core.
Right. It makes sense to me.
It solves all of the problems.
What I was getting at, what if we call Rainiel Rodriguez Fat Earth?
Fat Earth. Lock it in. I will remind you that I forget everything the minute we're done recording this. So we need some sort of daily reminder that Rainiel Rodriguez is now Fat Earth.
That's a t-shirt right there, pal. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about Rainiel again. Kid's incredible. A couple other young men that have been playing well. Liam Doyle is breaking out in AA right now. Over his last 8 starts, he's striking out over 31% of batters faced. He's allowed a 165 average over that same time and a 1.52 ERA, Nathan. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's great. This was one of the guys that when drafted, some people picked as maybe will be like the first from the draft class to make the majors, like it's sort of this polished project or polished pitcher. Not entirely true. It's more like he had an incredible fastball and we needed to see the secondaries, but people thought the fastball will play at the majors day one. And the reality is that he struggled a little bit out of the gates. But the elite stuff has always been in there, and it's really, really satisfying to see it start to come around because a lot of one of the many alternate universe futures of the Cardinals being successful includes Liam Doyle near the top of our rotation. And he's just got that kind of stuff that is an incredibly exciting pitcher when it's on. And I'm starting to get a little bummed about his overall work at that in the minors. And now we're seeing it. So
now we're seeing it. And
yeah,
you wonder if, like, let's say Cooper Hjerpe or Durangelo gets called up to the majors for the remainder of the year. Maybe he gets the bump up to AAA to spread those, for the little bit that remains in the season. But he is pitching that well right now, and it's a lot of fun. All right, last guy I had to talk about, my boy. I feel like I've been pretty measured of not bringing this up all the time, but Rainiel Ortiz has been crushing AA for a while now. Over the past month, he's striking out only 12.5% of the time. He's walking over 11% of the time. He's carrying an OPS of 958 over the last 30 days.
Yeah.
And he's been mostly starting at third base.
I think we all know why.
I got a lot of faith in this guy. He hits the ball hard. He has good at-bats. I think he's got power to all fields. He's starting at third base more and more. We're seeing Jesus Baez start at third base more and more. Cardinals are trying to figure something out. He's 22 years old. He's still got he's not the youngest guy in AA. But as we say, you can only dominate against the league that you're in. And so far he's done that now going on a year and a half. But just wanted to call out Rainiel Ortiz is a good hitter.
Well, look, the Cardinals have, by I think it was MLB.com's rankings, the second best farm system in baseball now. And you don't get that by just having a couple high-end guys. It comes from having depth in the minor league system, too. And I think this guy's a good representation of it. We'll see where he goes. But as someone, we were very hyped about him last year, you in particular, and it's been a bit of a rough start, injury and all that. Just bringing it back together. And there is certainly a path to the MLB level if he can do it.
All right, Nate.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about the upcoming series, a little bit of league news, and, of course, play a little game. But before we do that, we want to remind our listeners that this show is listener-supported on Patreon.com. Patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds, where you can find all the different tiers and different ways to support the show. Thank you to the patrons and those who hang out with us every day in the Birdscord, which is one of the primary benefits of joining the Patreon. It is a private Discord server where we're following Cardinals. We're, living and dying with each game together, sharing news and updates as they come in. Just a great place to talk to other Cardinal fans and have some fun. So check it out, patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds. We also appreciate anyone who supports the show via a review on their favorite podcast platform, and of course tells their friends and tells their family and whispers it into their dog's ears. That helps.
Woof, woof, woof.
Listen to talking. Hambo, where else can people find us online?
We got the socials. Nate, check us out on Blue Sky, Instagram, and of course TikTok. We love the TikToks, folks. You can watch this episode on YouTube. We're over there. You can find all of that information and more podcast stuff, t-shirts, maybe Rainiel Rodriguez Fat Earth t-shirts hitting the store soon at talkingaboutbirds.com. Of course, you can email us directly at talkaboutbirds@gmail.com. And as always, you can call us and leave a voicemail or send a text message to 848-48-BIRDS. That's 848-482-4737.
All right, 48-48-BIRDS. All right, Hambone. The Pirates are coming to town.
Yeah.
The Pirates are coming to town.
Pretty good.
Thank you. Just sort of came to me. Let's start with the pitching matchups. We're all pretty familiar with the Pirates. But let's start with the pitching matchup.
Yeah, we got Friday night. We got Jared Jones, who's healthy, against Quinn Matthews, who should be healthy. Saturday we have Carmen Mlodzinski. God, I hate these Polish names. Mlodzinski. Against Kyle Leahy, the best starter in baseball. And then Sunday, Braxton Ashcraft is going against Matthew Liberatore.
I hate these Polish Names.
Oh,
That
was good.
You did. Thanks. Remember Polish jokes in the 90s?
Oh, do I? God.
What a weird time. Yeah, so the Pirates technically, like, as much as the Cardinals in the playoff hunt, so are the Pirates. They're one of the teams that are right there with us. We've discounted them, I think, for good reason, but they are right there. And when healthy, when everything is clicking, they can be a good team. There's a reason why they're right behind the Cardinals in the standings. Jared Jones should be very, very good. He's been hurt. O'Neal Cruz is back. Did you see? He hit the first home run off of Mason Miller since August of last year.
I was watching that game live last night.
Yeah.
And earlier in that game, I bet my wife that if the Pirates I bet Mary that if the Pirates won, she would have to buy breakfast this morning.
Wow.
And O'Neal Cruz bought me a bagel today. So shout out.
So you were smashing that over and she was slamming the under.
Oh, I was smashing that over.
Oh, dude. And then you were smashing the biscuits and gravy with an over easy egg.
I already said a bagel.
Damn it, you did. What? You got to go bigger than that.
I bought a t-shirt also. I bought a t-shirt from the bagel place.
Is that included in your breakfast?
It counted on the bill.
Got her.
Got her.
Now that's
Sorry,
how you,
babe.
That's how you work a relationship. Take notes, folks.
Happily married over here.
All right. So, the Pirates, they've been okay. We've seen them a bunch.
Yeah.
Like, anything to note, you think, from this series?
Is this our first time seeing Esmeralda Valdez, or has this happened already?
No, I think we've seen him before.
Okay.
He's also come back to earth a little bit. For a while there, he was truly crushing, looking like he's one of the breakouts.
He's fun. Kid's got big power. Maybe we've seen him before. Maybe I'm just forgetting about that. But yeah, I just wanted to call out his existence. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, after that, as a fun one, we've got the up for sale Los Angeles Dodgers in LA.
Yeah.
So what's the pitching matchups looking like there?
So it looks like probably Shohei Ohtani as the opener and Eric Lauer as the real starting pitcher. Michael McGreevy is going to go against those two fine gentlemen. Wednesday, we have Roki Sasaki against Andre Pallante, but he's on the IL, so that's not going to be the case. Maybe we see Hjerpe, or maybe we see our dear friend Senja. And then I'm really mad about this last matchup. It's going to be Thursday, Yoshinobu Yamamoto against Quinn Matthews. Really bummed that it's not going to be Kyle Leahy going up.
I was thinking the same thing. We have a pitching duel, the duel of the season.
We're not saying ironically.
No. Obviously Ohtani, Yamamoto. Sasaki's interesting. He still hasn't fully put it together, but
looks pretty good.
He can be good. He can be very good. He's just inconsistent. So are we going to get, there was a time where I thought Sasaki was going to be the best pitcher in baseball. And he hasn't quite lived up to that, but he obviously can look incredible.
When that splitter is working and he can locate his fastball worth a damn, he is one of the better pitchers in baseball. He's just young and Jack Skellington like. I think it's still in the works.
How tall is he? How tall is Roki Sasaki?
Trying to find that. He is 6'2", 187.
Okay. For some reason I thought he was shorter.
I think it's because he's so skinny. He looks small.
Well, the Dodgers are the Dodgers. We don't need to talk too much about them. We've seen them a fair amount, and they are talked about daily if you are a baseball fan. But it's a tough team.
Yeah, I agree with all that, and I'll just say that Tommy Edman's been back for a little bit, so it'll be nice for the Cardinals fans to see Tommy. Yeah, that's it.
I guess we can laugh about Kyle Tucker for a minute.
Yeah, maybe he'll drop some more balls or lose them in the lights or just kind of generally be bad and get paid $40-something million a year.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Dodgers just absorb that and not worry about it at all.
And Edwin Diaz is like basically, they've spent like $100 million between those two guys this year, and they're worth like -3 WAR or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you throw Tanner Scott into that, you're talking about, hundreds of millions of dollars spent over the last 2-3 years, and just almost no production whatsoever.
Ha 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 ha. You think he's going to opt out? You think Kyle Tucker is going to opt out of his $48 million deal next year or whatever it is?
I mean, he could just retire if he just doesn't want to deal with it anymore. But no, probably not.
He could. All right. Well, we'll see. So it's could be a mix to best team in baseball and the Pirates. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know how to predict anything right now after this last week. Yeah. What do you want to get into? Anything league news you want to touch on?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest story in baseball we should talk about right now is the Astros fire Dana Brown while in first place with like a month left in the season. Really weird. They did it after a win, which is also weird. They're not like totally dominating in the West right now, but they are in first place. And I don't know your opinion on the window that the Astros find themselves in right now, but I think they've done a lot with a little. I'm not like a Dana Brown super fan, but I find it just weird. Why now?
Yeah, why now is a good question. I think like you could argue that being 500 almost to September is not meeting expectations for that team. It turns out that that's good enough to be in first place in the Central, but that's not really like no one would use their standings as a real metric for success. It just turns out they're the 83 win Cardinals getting first place in the Central, sort of thing.
The problem I have with it though, it's like unless like we all know who Hunter Brown is, right? Hunter Brown's good. Christian Javier is healthy this year. But they have load-bearing starting pitchers with the names of Ethan Pecco, Peter Lambert, who actually has had a pretty nice year.
I was going to say, Lambert's been okay.
Hayden Wesnecky. Like, when you're going to be this good for this long, you're going to have to start bringing, and you lose guys like Framber Valdez and the like. You're going to have to start spending some money. And like, I don't know, you're getting a MVP season from Yordan Alvarez. Jeremy Pena has been mostly good and mostly healthy this year. Jose Altuve hasn't completely disintegrated yet. I think you got to be pretty happy with the way the team is performing.
Yeah, they just have come off of 7 ALCS visits in a row or whatever it was.
Right.
Like it was inevitable that it was going to catch up to them. Like you end up with an older team and you struggle a little bit,
or you have to spend a lot of money bringing in guys, and they haven't done that really.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. My only point was that, like, I think, for them being in first place isn't really an indicator of how their team actually is. But I think probably most people from the outside looking in going into this season would say Astros being 500 is pretty good. That their team is aged and, after Alvarez's season last year, like this is one of the better outcomes for them. They could very easily be in last place. So then you start to wonder, is it something else, right? And we just don't know. Is it a Mike Schilt being fired after a successful season sort of thing?
Yeah, I think Jim Crane probably gets a little too involved in the I feel like we have a history of this over there. I don't know. That's interesting, but that's probably the answer. All right, a couple of quick notes, just a little bit of player news. Calen Culpepper has made his major league debut, one of the best prospects in baseball, shortstop for the Twins. Kind of really excited about him. I like him a lot.
He looks good.
I think he's going to be very, very good. And the Twins are so funny. They're in such a funny place right now, too, but kind of fun.
Yeah. I agree. I think he's going to be fun. He's had a pretty good debut.
Yeah. Other than that, the only thing I wanted to bring up was the Paul Skenes conversation. I feel like there's been a lot in the media about him kind of regressing, kind of like Masyn winning a little bit year over year, getting a little bit worse. Or at least this is what's being talked about in the media quite a bit right now. You go and look at the numbers on Fangraphs or wherever, and yeah, the ERA is a little higher than it usually is, but he's still a top 10, top 20 pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you have just kind of your read on this situation.
This cracks me up. It's like, man, can you imagine having this version of Paul Skenes on your team? Like, he is at 4.1 F/WAR, which he's about to surpass his rookie year WAR, by the way. And I guess, yeah, he could be doing better, but I don't know. I think it's the expectations thing, right? If people expect you to be the best pitcher in baseball and you're just a top 20 pitcher in baseball, you failed to meet expectations. So I think it's kind of crazy. I guess, the velo's down. So it's like, okay, maybe there's something going on in his arm that hasn't popped yet. And this is a precursor to it. And we'll see, but if this is a down Paul Skenes, oh my God, this guy is he was looking like maybe the best pitcher of all time, and so if this is a down season, then that argument is still in play because this is still a very, very good season. So
yeah, I agree.
I think it's silly.
There's the fastball velo's a little out. I've seen some hits on MLB.TV talking about his mechanics being off and everything like that. It's like, well, he's still maybe not the Cy Young winner, but he's still going to get votes. He's still that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is heavy as the crown, I guess, when you're the best pitcher in baseball. And maybe it's the Miz. Maybe everyone wants to talk about him now instead.
Yeah.
But he's still not as good as Paul Skenes was. But anyways, all right, I'll leave it there. That's all the league news I got.
All right, Hambone, we're going to wrap up with a segment we've done before, but a new version of it. We're doing League Choose Calorie Count Edition.
Oh, okay.
So, Hambone, I went to Cheesecake Factory the other day. It was my first time ever going. And as
somebody's done well for themselves, Richie Rich over here,
carved into my 2,400 calorie Louisiana chicken pasta, I was thinking, what's the calorie count of other ridiculous items, food items?
The entree was 2,400 calories?
Yes, I, of course, ate it over 2 large-ass meals. It was the idea of someone eating this in one sitting is, insane to me. But anyway, so
was it good?
It was great.
Did you get any cheesecake?
No, but that's a whole other thing. We were there for over an hour because the service was a whole thing that night, and the woman was great, but they were clearly understaffed. And so we were we had our kids with us, and we were like, we got to get out of here, that sort of thing. But the food was good. And so what I have in front of me, Hambone, first fun fact, did you know that stadiums are exempt from the federal law of providing calorie counts on food and beverage?
Didn't know that. That's dumb. I will say we got an Andy's frozen custard that came out near our house recently, and they just spring up. Yeah, they're famous for these really decadent concretes and stuff like that. And there's this. It was like a key lime pie shake where it's a shake and they just blend up a slice of key lime pie in it. I was like, oh, I love key lime pie. I'm going to get this. And then the calorie count is on the menu and it's like, oh, that's 1,750 calories. And I'm like, oh God, I can't eat that. It's going to kill me. And it talked me out of getting it. So I'm of two minds on this. It works.
Topic. I am two minds on it too, because part of me is like, people need to know what they're putting in their bodies. But flip side, if you're ordering the boomstick burrito at the Texas Rangers Stadium, you know what you're getting yourself into. You know what I mean? I don't think I think a shake at an Andy's thing where you're like, oh, that sounds fun. I'll get that. Like, people need to know that 1,700 calories. When you're ordering a 2-foot long hot dog covered in bacon and chili cheese and things like that, like, I think you just know that it's inherently bad for you. And it's part of the stadium experience is getting this absolutely absurd food. I just thought it's kind of funny that they have like a full federal exemption from it.
Counterpoint to your point, critical thinking is boring.
Tough. That's a great point.
Yeah.
So I've got a list of standard and insane ballpark food here, and you're going to guess how many calories it is.
Okay.
How many calories do you think a basic hot dog is? This is a plain hot dog in a bun.
Plain hot dog in a bun, not a foot long, just your traditional
regular old ballpark
hot dog. Okay.
Hotting dog.
I'm gonna say 550 calories.
No, not that high. It's 300 calories.
Oh, okay. That makes me feel better, actually.
Just a hot dog in a bun. You can increase that with various condiments, but you're not going to go too crazy. I should say some of this is actual reported because some of these basics do have reported. And then some of this is just estimates found online, by the way. So we're ballparking here. This one's actually reported at Coors Field. You can get a funnel cake. How many calories do you think a funnel cake is?
Wow, geez. And they have they have the funnel cakes, and then they have the tornado funnel cakes.
This is not the tornado, although I did see that.
Funnel cake. I mean, it's just batter, but it's fried. So a lot of oil's coming up with that. Probably powdered sugar, I would imagine, would be included on the standard one. I'm going to say, let's drop it right at 800 cals, Nate.
You're more or less spot at 760. I'll give you that one. Very good. So, in case anyone listening, if you like 2,000 is sort of an average daily calorie amount that people should consume. Obviously, your body may be different, your needs may be different, but that's like a standard people point to. All right. How about a jumbo cotton candy?
It is pure sugar, but it's also mostly air.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's actually not as bad.
How many calories are in air?
Yeah. Whoa. That must be my problem.
I can't stop breathing, doc.
But I feel like it's not as bad as just thinking, oh, it's pure sugar. I'm going to say 325 cals.
It's 550.
Wow.
So that's a jumbo, though. It's a pretty big candy.
I'm very surprised by that. But I guess sugar, am I right?
Hey. It'll kill you. All right. Standard nachos. So this is just your chips, cheese, and salsa.
Chips, cheese, and salsa. Gosh. I don't know, Nate. I'm going to say 650 cals.
600. You're right around there.
All right.
So, if you go and you get some nachos or a hot dog or, some of these treats, you're doing fine. Go live a little, no big deal. Maybe have a couple.
What about pizza donuts? Those got to be good for you.
Let's get into some of the fun stuff. So at your Busch Stadium, you can get something called a 314 sandwich. This is Nashville hot chicken and sauce on a maple bacon donut.
Ooh.
Again, these are estimates, but we got a high end here. What do you think the estimate is?
Yeah, I mean, the donut alone is pushing that up. I'm gonna go a nice 1,200 on that one.
This is estimated at 2,000 calories. Your daily amount.
What?
A gigantic piece of fried chicken on a donut with the sauce and everything.
Wow. I guess I need to put eyes on these because that is significant.
All right. How about the cleanup burger? This is from Truist Ballpark. We've got 4 beef patties, hash brown bacon, cheese, fried egg on a Belgian waffle with maple syrup.
Jesus. Well, if the chicken was 2,000, then I think we're looking at 2,000 plus. My God. Is this for one?
Well, I cannot imagine someone. So I'm sure people eat this on their own. Many of these big ones are served, assuming multiple people are going to eat it. You know, they come in like a big old thing.
I'm gonna go 2,600 on this.
Yeah, the estimate for this one is somewhere between 2,500 to 3,000. So I'll give you that.
Okay.
All right. How about the boomstick burrito? This is a 26-inch tortilla, taco meat, rice, beans, nacho cheese, pico lettuce, and sour cream. So it is a massive burrito.
26 inches?
Yes.
So I feel like a Qdoba burrito is like 1,000, 1,100 calories or something like that. And those are like, I don't know, what, 5 inches? 6 inches?
Something like that. Yeah.
So I think we're talking 4 bands here. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 4,100 cals.
Yeah, this says 4,000 plus. So I think there's probably some options in there. This one is carved into 4 portions.
Okay.
So I think they do assume 4 people are going to eat it, but still, that bad boy's that's 2 days calories in one platter there.
God bless our country.
We love it. We love it. I got just a couple more for you. A celebration shake. This is much like your Camptown shake. It is birthday cake, ice cream, confetti cake, a pinwheel cookie, and a cherry, and a big old shake.
Well, shakes alone, they're just
shakes alone.
I love ice cream, but man, it is just it's one of the true crimes in life is how bad ice cream is for you.
Yeah, I know. I think it's my favorite dessert, and it is truly it is a heavy night.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3,200 on the shake.
This one, it actually has it lower at around 2,000. So, but still, these are almost always single servings. People are ordering a shake and eating a shake.
Yeah. Well, if you just eat one shake a day,
you're good.
You're fine.
Yeah. I'm hitting my macros.
I bet the protein is solid.
All right, we're gonna wrap up on the 9x9x9 challenge.
Oh God!
So there's the official one, which has apparently been secretly removed from many menus, many ballparks. I don't know if it's still at Coors Field, but this is 9 mini hot dogs, and it's as far as I can tell, it is one 24-ounce beer that they then give you 9 little shot glasses to drink.
Yeah,
basically. So 9 mini hot dogs, which based on my research, they're not really that many. They look like normal hot dogs. They're just mini compared to like ballpark hot dogs.
Okay.
How many calories is an estimate, but how many calories do you think one of these?
Okay. So a full ballpark hot dog is 350. These are mini. So let's say that you're saying they're not that small. So let's say they're 250 times 9. What are we at? What is that, like 1,800-ish calories or something like that? Plus the beer. Beer is probably 600-ish calories, depending on the beer. So what does that math get? That gets me to 2,400. I'm going to say, let's just clean it up, 2,500 calories.
Ammo, you got it on the dot. That is
Let's
the
go.
estimate of 2,500. Now what if we did a real 9x9x9, which is a full hot dog and 9 12-ounce beers?
You got to go light beer on that, right?
Well, I actually have, a little bit of a range. Like, the beer type is going to significantly impact it. So if you look, let's imagine a light beer, which is what I've got here.
Yeah. Okay, so that's, I don't know, like a Mick Ultra is like 95 cals, so let's just call that 100. So that's 900 cals in beer right there. And then, oh my God, I can't do this kind of math, Nate. You're killing me.
I know.
That's 1,800 plus. God, that's 4,500-ish, something like that.
It's lower than that, but depending on if you go with a lighter beer, we're looking around 3,600 calories. But if you go with a heavier beer, you're pushing 4,000.
Okay.
So, more to the point, you've also just drank 9 beers in about 2.5 hours. But yeah, to actually do a 9x9x9, you're consuming around 4,000 calories and 9 beers in 2.5 hours. Truly incredible.
Big shout out to the homies for that one.
Yeah.
We'll do it someday.
I can't wait. Then I'll go do a backflip on the field and get banned and puke on everyone. It'll be great.
Perfect.
All right, Hamvo. That was League Choose Calorie Count Edition, and that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you, everybody, as always, for listening. Even our little grudge ghost, we're happy to have you. Anybody, any listener, we'll take it. And we'll be back, as always, next week. If you want to support the show, consider checking out our Patreon at patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds, or check out their links to everything at talkingaboutbirds.com. If you have a question or comment for the show, text or leave us a voicemail at 848-48-BIRDS. And that's going to do it. We'll be back next week. And until next week, go Cardinals.
Go Birds.